I have come to bring fire upon the face of the earth. How I wish the fire was burning. It was the desire of God, it was the expectation of God that fire be upon the face of the earth. The Bible speaking said, who maketh his angels spirit, or you can refer to as its wings. His ministers are a flame of fire. Our testimony, our testament as minister is the capacity of the fire we carry. The revelation of the fire of God deposited in the life of a minister is what gives him authority in the spirit. Your drama is a waste of time if it cannot contact and transmit fire. There is a man named Evangelist Mike Bamiloye. While we were growing up, we thought drama was just a thing that people had, watched, and they laughed. But Mike Bamiloye came and redefined it. And in his definition, many of us made contact with Mount Zion movie and we got born again. You can finish watching a Mount Zion movie and you start weeping and crying. But we thought it was just a drama as usual. There are some movies that you watch and you weep. There are others that you watch and you enter into a reality of lust. What is the difference? One has a testimony of fire, the other one has a testimony of death. Because two spirits rule the face of the earth. One transmits life, another transmits death. And the economy of life is transmitted by the Zoe. The economy of death is transmitted by the systems of the flesh. And so there are some movies, there are some drama that can be concocted from the altars of darkness. There is another that can be getting from a throne in heaven. The same way that there are sounds, everybody can stand here and sing. But if Naramali come here and stand and sing, when you go back, you can have encounter with him, seeing yourself in another realm. And when Theophilus Sunday or Minister Jesse stand here and sing, you can return back and have an encounter and see yourself in heaven. The communication is guided by an economy of life. And so it's not just about the cliche, it's not about the communication, it's about the spirit and the life transmitted. So when we speak about the sound of revival, it's because there is an utterance proceeding from heaven onto the earth, and men must be willing to perceive it and hearken unto it. So before Jesus Christ was born, a sound proceeded, and when he came upon the face of the earth, star appeared, and that star began to pull men and gravitate them towards his direction. So before anything is born upon the face of the earth, there is a sound. And those that perceive the sound, they align themselves with the move. We can be speaking about revival, but until few men are willing to carry upon themselves the burden of this thing, it will just be a cliche. Far beyond just a drama, far beyond just a preaching, far beyond just a program. Can we find men and women that can be burdened enough and say, Father, revive us, or revive us? We must come to a point where we have no any other option but God, and that we are willing to pay the price for this revival no matter the cost. And one of the greatest things that God is going to begin to attack is everything that takes him away from us. And that is why we saw how that it may look like a drama. While you were doing the drama, I was talking to Minister Jess as she was saying she has watched this before. I said, well, she prophesied. I thought she was a prophet. How that the time is going to come in a family that there is a prophecy upon their lives, but suddenly everybody became busy. Is there anything wrong with watching news? No. But when watching news take your time for God, you need a revival. Is there anything worth watching football? No. But when watching football is contending with your personal devotion with God, you need a revival. Because love not the world, neither the things in the world. If anyone love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So the challenge is that the devil will bring you to a point where he will take away the love that you have for God. So when it's time for prayers, everyone gravitate towards football. The other one gravitate towards news. The other one, it was TikTok she was doing. TikTok was her passion. Only the mother was praying. Only the mother. I realized, why is it that most times when you go to churches you see more women than men? Go to prayer house, more women than men. Do you know their problem? Their problem is their husband and their children. So the husband and the children are the ones that are giving them problem. That as a woman, what should I pray for you about? My children, my husband. My children, my husband. My children, my husband. Why? Because all the children and the husband, they are distracted by the devil. So it's possible to see a woman that is revived in the God, and all the family is a waste of time. It doesn't matter whether she married wrong or married right. The thing is that you can begin well with God and ended badly. Because many of these people begin very well, but in the midst of everything, when they feel that they are okay, the devil now attack. Let me tell you, the Bible says pray so that you don't enter into temptation. Because temptation will come. But what will preserve you in the days of temptation is how much capacity you have built in the place of prayer. So everybody was distracted. Only the mother was praying. As she was insisting in praying, there was a covenant of preservation. Although, yet again, the children went through some things. The husband went through some things. The prayer of the mother was able to bring an angel to ensure that they are preserved for a moment. But it cannot always exempt them from the backlashes. So it's possible for you to fulfill destiny, but fulfill it with one leg. It's possible for you to fulfill destiny, but with one hand. The prayer preserved that at least only one hand is taken. Many more times David said, I was afflicted when I went astray. The day I backslide, I was afflicted. Every kind of affliction come upon our life the moment we begin to backslide. I realize that anytime I begin to deviate from the patterns of God, all kinds of attack at night. Normally, as a believer advancing in God, it's normal for you to have attacks. Why? Because we advance by spiritual warfare. That is what is referred to as the warfare of advantage. The more the devil attack you, the more weapons of war are given unto you, and the more you gain rank in the spirit. The way we possess inheritance in this kingdom is how much more we are willing to fight and to contend. He said, I have given you the land, but rise up and possess it in battle. He said, God, make a table before you in the presence of your enemy. The way you survive in this kingdom is by fighting. But there is a kind of fighting that was not designed for you. It's the fighting that comes the day you backslide. Immediately you begin to lose the fire of God. All kinds of demonic spirits that should run away from you, now they are the one tormenting you. All kinds of things that normally on a normal basis should not afflict you, now it's afflicting you. I was afflicted when I went astray. The danger of backsliding is that you come to a point where many things that you have passed through them before now become a strong challenge. How all of a sudden you that before small headache happened, you cast and bind it. Now it comes, you are sleeping in the hospital for weeks. There was a time when you never got sick for a full month. Now because you begin to backslide, your prayer life has gone down, your study life has gone down, and every day you wake up one sickness or the other sickness. You have been trying to treat it, it's not going. There was a time if anything come, little treatment it goes. Now it's as if the whole system is corrupted, and no matter what you do, it cannot go. At that point now, what is happening is that there is an infirmity in your flesh which has taken hold of you, and your spirit life is no longer flowing. And if your spirit life is not flowing, you are already dead. He said, the day you eat of this tree, you shall surely die. They may not have died physically, but spiritually they were alienated from the commonwealth of Israel. And if you cannot get support from God, what is the essence of existence? Our essence of existence as Christians, Christ-likeness, carrying His glory, carrying His power, is that anytime we stay and we call upon, He can answer. The day you call upon God, He cannot answer. Check again. It means that there is something that has happened to your hunger, happened to your fire, happened to your passion, and God feels betrayed by you. The danger is that if you are not where God wants you to be, you are exactly where the devil wants you to be. And where the devil wants you to be is the place where he can kill you. When the devil is done with you, he kills you. Why? Because there is no a place that he can give to you. The devil has never prepared a place for anyone. Every place he has ever prepared for a backslider is the place of damnation. Serve him now and pray later. That is the way. So why should a believer live in a backsliding state for so long? Because of the beauty that it has for the moment. Everyone has a desire in the flesh, and we wonder, so why? And that is why there is a sound coming, and the goal of that sound is to bring men from the flesh into the spirit. Oh, foolish Galatians, how comes that you begin in the spirit and now you ended up in the flesh, and now you are being made perfect in the flesh? In the day God begin to sound for revival, it's because an army has fallen as Kadesh Barnea. There is an army that we are advancing to go for war, but now they are falling. And not just falling, they have become a bone that is dry. How comes all of a sudden army advanced and now they became a bone that is dry? And the Lord appeared unto the prophet. He said, oh prophet, we need an army in Israel, but can this bone live? They were once upon a time mighty army, but can they live? The prophet said, oh God, only thou knowest. Because it looks as though their destiny has been thwarted. What happened to the army and they died? They have not yet fought the battle. How come they died? They backslided. They came to a point where as they advanced, they were deceived and all of them fell at Kadesh Barnea. And the day when they were deceived, it looks as though God cannot use them. But glory be to God, thanks be to God, which has caused us to triumph in Christ Jesus. What may happen in the drama looks like a second chance, but I'm telling you, if there is one man that can pray, there is a God that can hearken unto a generation. He said, if my people who are called by my name can humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways and call upon me and seek my face, I will hear from heaven and I will heal their land. In the days when our land is in bondage, our land does not have a way to deliver itself. He said the entire creation waited for the manifestations of the sons of God. So creation is in bondage, waiting for the sons to awake. Who would have known that a bone that is dry is an army that cannot be resisted, until there was a prophecy? And suddenly the Lord sent a prophet. He said, prophet, prophesy unto them. I know you may not know, but prophesy. Speak unto them. Create a sound. And as the prophet began to speak, a sound proceeded from heaven. And everything that was needed for the army to awake began to come. And bones that were dry began to awake, and they became an army. I don't know how your life may be, but I believe that from the sound that will proceed from this place in the next few minutes, we begin to pray, it has the ability to revive you, to reawake you again. I don't know what the devil has done, and your hunger and your passion has gone down. A cry for revival is a cry for restoration. What happened to that gift in the spirit? What happened to that ordination in the spirit? What happened to that your calling? What happened to that your passion? You know yourself more than I know you, but there is something that has been lost. And that was one of the things that Adam was looking for in the entire of his life. How comes a time came that the glory that covered him was no longer there? His life became a cupboard, and he began to pray and begin to pray and begin to cry, oh God, cover us again. See, if God gives you something and you lost it, there is no amount of packaging that you do that will cover for it. Because the thing that you lost has nothing to do with physical appearance. If you lose your shirt, you can buy another one. If you lose your suit, you can buy another one. If you lose a dimension in the spirit, you can't buy it. So what you do is to cry, oh God, revive me. So when you see us begin to cry, it's not because we have lost a car or a house. In fact, if they steal your car, be happy. If they steal your house, be happy. Because there are things that you can easily go to the market and buy it. But where do they buy ordinations in the spirit? Where do they buy dimensions in the spirit? Where do they buy the grace of God in the spirit? Those things are not things that you can walk into any market and buy it. You can't go to a modern market and buy it. So when you see men begin to cry, it's because they knew that peradventure there was a journey they have walked in carnality, and now something has lost. And immediately when that thing leave them, what they begin to cry for is restoration. What we call restoration, what is referred to as revival. So when we say men should pray for revival, it's not because peradventure you have totally backslided, but peradventure there was a grace upon your life that you used to enjoy before, and now the grace has gone. Maybe it was the oil to pray at night. Maybe it was the prophetic grace. Maybe it was dreams and vision. There was a time when to write was an easy thing. In fact, there was a time you were writing books every month. But now when you try to write, it's as if the inspiration has flown. There was a time you write songs like nothing. There was a time that you can easily dwell inside with God. Now it's gone. You may not have backslided, but that dimension is gone. You have to cry and say, Father, revive me again. So when wise men begin to cry for a restoration, it's not because they are foolish, it's because they know that there are things that God can give to them. But in today's society, just like that young lady, I was shocked. When the devil came, he came for the one that was doing TikTok. That means in the level of the backsliding, the one that watched football is still safe. In fact, the one that watch news is still safe. But the one on TikTok, God became zero. So when they check in the spirit, the demon saw that God is 0%. The other one, God may be 10%, but this one is 0%. And that's to let you understand that if you are in that thing, I ask a lady, are you the one in this TikTok? I'm saying, how come physically like this, you are a sister in fellowship? On TikTok, you are like Cardi B. There are many guilty people here. Papa, most of these our ladies, if you follow them on TikTok, you may not be able to preach on Sunday. Because what your eyes will see, your mouth cannot say. You will lack utterance. you will need the entire church to pray for you for utterance. One of those ladies that were mentoring, one day I just went on a TikTok, and what I saw, I said, where did you learn this thing from? The whispers of the dragon. In the days that the serpent entered into the Garden of Eden, he began to whisper unto Eve, and as he began to whisper, she had a sound that was not of revival, and it brought her to death. That twerking you are twerking every morning and put you on TikTok, who told you to do it? Which sound did you hear? That's why you must hear another sound of revival, because something has taken away your hunger and passion for God. There was a time when you wake up in the morning, you went and kneel down and begin to cry. Now when you wake up, you set your camera, you even bought ring light. You bought a ring light that have many places for camera, so you are getting different angle. So as we are twerking, you are showing bum bum, you are showing breast at the same time, and we are wondering how it was different angles that came from your different ring light. You need to hear another sound of it, because the sound you heard that will make you look for followers on TikTok, you need to hear another sound that will make you have a voice in the spirit. Because in the days of war, your followers on TikTok will not save you, but there is an assembly in the spirit that can preserve you. There is a day when TikTok will fade away. There is a day when Instagram will fade away. Don't just only have stature on Facebook and not have stature in the spirit. Don't just only have followers in TikTok and not have followers in the spirit, because in the days of war you will die and your followers will be gone. We are looking for men and women that will stand and intercede. When are we going to call for prayer meeting and say the entire 9 first of Lafia want to go for a 10 hours prayers, and we are going to see us full? We will only fool if they say there's going to be maybe a drama night or popcorn night. And that is the reason why we are crying for revival, because it's going to take prayer to unlock our calling in God. That day that you had inspiration from heaven because you prayed. The last time you had God was the last time you prayed and you cracked a realm in the spirit. Because until you pray, you will remain like a sealed book and you'll be so confused. In fact, even the Bible, when you open it, it will make no sense. When people call me, they say they are not understanding the Bible. I say, close the Bible, pray for like 4 hours, open it, you will understand by default. Why? Because there is a level of energy you need for you to be able to ignite it. The Bible is just like a gas that you need something to ignite it to be able to open it. So until you come with that flame, it will not open. Fire requires fire to burn. Our lives cannot remain in decadence. What is your passion? What is your zeal? What is your drive? What is your desire? When you checkmate those things, if there are things that have the ability to take away God from you, let me tell you, that is the reason why God is far from you. And let me tell you something, as iron sharpeneth iron, so is the countenance of one sharpened by the other. See, if you have friends that are not serious with God, let them go. Because many of you, the reason why you are backslided was because of that your friend. There was somebody in your life that doesn't like God. In fact, to come here was a miracle, because that your friend was telling you, let's stay in the hostel now, and you have to fight and fight before you came here. If you can't have a friend that can encourage you to do the things of God, what is it? Somebody came to me and told me he want to leave church. Why? Because his friend had left church. Imagine how it is. Who would be so good as a friend to follow you to hell? If today they are taking you to hell and your friend is going to heaven, and they tell the friend, enter hell together with him, who would be that generous as a friend to follow you and enter? Everybody will forsake you in the days of adversity. And that is why you can never have a better friend like the one that will point you to Jesus. When was the last time your friend encouraged you in the Lord? And anytime we attach ladies now together, they become lesbians. That is the reason why we can't have ladies that can mentor ladies. Attach them as roommates and see what will happen. They are either fighting each other, or they are lesbians, or they are stealing from each other. Attach guys to each other and see, they are competing for one lady. In the same fellowship where we say the Lord is showing us something, before you know it, distraction come here and center. Your own distraction may not be news. Your own distraction may not be the other one. Can we act the other drama? What is battling our lives? Let's act it. Because there are other parts of the drama that was not acted. So when we speak about revival, it's holistic. Other aspects of our life that men cannot see. These are the things that make us pray. Even if I don't want to pray for anything, I know I have weaknesses within me. Because we don't have a high priest that cannot be touched by the feeling of the infirmities of others. So Jesus Christ learned obedience by the things he suffered. He suffered loss, he suffered all kinds of lack, he suffered everything that you went through, so that he can be able to prevail, so that in the days that you look upon him, you become like an example. Let me tell you, if you are truly a priest and an intercessor over a region, you will suffer the infirmity of the people, because God can never bring you to a point to change the people that you can't go through their infirmity. So you don't know why you enter into college or you enter into university and suddenly you begin to feel lost in your life. It's because the university is full of all kinds of loss, and you are coming as a high priest, so you are touched by the feeling of their infirmities. You don't know why you may be so rich from where you are coming from. As you enter into school, money stop coming. It's because there is a certain level of poverty that you must conquer here. So as a priest, you must go through it, so that by the time you are stand, you can be able to liberate others. If you have not gone through their bondage, you can't understand their cry. So before you understand the cry of the people, you must go through their bondage.